Hey, what's up, guys? It's Andrew Osentowski. I'm back with another UFC prediction video. This time, UFC 311, Makhachev versus Tsarukyan 2. This event goes down Saturday, January 18th, 2025. Prelims begin at 6. It's going down from LA, California. Sweet fight poster for the event, man. Let's get into it, guys. It's a really good card. First up on the prelims, Tagir Ulanbekov against Clayton Carpenter. I haven't really been too impressed with Tagir in his UFC stint so far. Beat Cody Durden, beat Nate Maness. He lost to Tim Elliott. That's really his only loss in the UFC. Clayton Carpenter, he just came back from a hiatus, picked up a nice win. Still very young in his UFC career. 8-0 professional record. Beat Lucas Rocha, which I thought was a good win. Beat Ronderos. He's no longer with the UFC. I'm gonna side with Clayton Carpenter here to pick up the win. I just think he's a little. I don't know. I just think he's a little better. Plus 215 underdog. So yeah, I'm definitely would take Clayton Carpenter in that fight. Grant Dawson against Diego Ferreira. Can't believe Diego got to win his last fight out. He's on a 2-fight winning streak, actually. Beat Mateus Rebecki and Michael Johnson, and you know, I think the UFC was trying to get him a loss to Rebecki, but Rebecki, I think he kind of gassed in that fight, if I can remember. Grant Dawson, this guy, he's looked really good, man. Ever since that main event loss to Bobby Green back in October of 2023. They beat Joe Selecki, beat Rafa Garcia, and now another step up in Diego Ferreira. And I think Dawson's gonna win here. He's got the better wrestling. I think he avoids the submission. He might get a ground and pound finish. I'm gonna side with Grant Dawson. Ricky Tercios against Bernardo Sopaj. I'm gonna side with Bernardo here. He did have a bad loss in his last fight, which was his UFC debut. Flying knee knockout to Vinicius Oliveira. Ricky Tercios, I thought he looked pretty good at the beginning of that fight against Raul Rosas, but he ends up getting submitted. But there was some really interesting grappling exchanges in that fight. So Rosas is going to want to take it to the ground here. Sopaj is going to want to keep it standing. I'm going to side with Bernardo here. Peyton Talbott against Ronnie Barcelos. Again, man, I'd like to see Peyton Talbott get some actual competition here, man. This guy has been phenomenal in his UFC run so far. Round 1 stoppage of Yanis Gamari, 19 seconds back in June. Beat Cameron Simon. I mean, that was really impressive because Simon has a lot of hype at bantamweight, and Talbot he landed a lot of strikes in that fight. Beat Nick Aguirre. Just really impressive, man. I think he's probably a minus 1,000 favorite. Ronnie Barcelos, he's been in the UFC for a while, but again, he hasn't really developed into much. Beat Christian Quinones in his last fight. But let's look at the odds, man, if we can find the odds. Peyton Talbot's over a minus 1,000. He's currently a minus 1025. So, again, it's not bettable, but Peyton Talbot's going to be my pick here. Zach Reese against Cedric Dumas. I'm not really high on Dumas here, man. He's on a 1-fight winning streak. Beat Dennis Tyloon, who's no longer with the promotion. Some decent wins. He's beat the absolute bottom at 185. Zach Reese, he's looked really good, man. 2-fight winning streak. Beat Jose Medina in his last fight. Beat Julian Marquez in 20 seconds before that. Did lose to Cody Brundage, which is not good, but I am going to side with Zach Reese here. Carol Rosa against Aline Perez. I don't know. I'm just not really high on Aline Perez. 4-fight winning streak, though. That has to be noted. Again, she's beat a lot of people that aren't no longer with the promotion. Carol Rosa, she has impressed me, man. I'm kind of coming around to her as a fighter. I was impressed with her winner last time against Pandy Kanazad. She really busted her up on the feet. And I don't know, man. I just think Carol Rosa's the better fighter here. Beat Yana Santos. Lost to Irene Aldana. No shame in that. Lost to Norma Dumont. No shame in that. But, yeah, I do like Carol Rosa for the win here. Johnny Walker against Bogdan Guskov. Looks like Walker's staying at 205. I think that's probably a good choice. We just kind of got to accept with Johnny Walker at this point in his career that, you know, this guy is, you know, he's a top 15 light heavyweight, but that's because light heavyweight's so weak, man. And I don't really ever see him breaking the top 5. I mean, he's too chinny. His chin has betrayed him in a lot of these fights, man. Lost to Volkan Oezdemir by knockout, which is not good. Lost to Magomed Ankalaev in a main event back in January of 2024. You know, it just hasn't been good for this guy, man. There's only limited competition that this guy can beat. Bogdan Guskov, I worry about this guy's cardio, but man, he's got some heavy hands. He knocked out Ryan Spann, beat Zach Pauga. Again, if Johnny Walker maybe fights smart, take this to the ground, he can beat him. But if he keeps standing with Bogdan's gonna throw down, and I'm gonna side with Bogdan here. Jailton Almeida against Sergey Spivak. Again, I don't really know how Spivak caught Tybura in that armbar. I mean, I think that fight closed pick'em. No, I think Tybura actually closed the dog, and I just did not understand it. Tybura was just a better grappler here. I mean, he beat Spivak in the first fight. And then he kind of got reversed on top there. And I don't know, man. Just, that did not look good from Tybura's perspective. And then you hear about, or Sergey said that he was injured in the weeks prior to the fight. He couldn't even train right. Just makes you really wonder how Tybura lost that fight. But credit to Spivak. He's got a really tough test here, man. Jailton Almeida. I think Almeida kind of runs through him, gets him down, submits him, and Spivak's not going to get back to his feet, man. Jailton Almeida's just going to land ground and pound or get a submission finish here, man. I don't really see Spivak having much success, but we'll see how it plays out. My pick will be Almeida. Rinya Nakamura against Marine Gafarov. Gafarov, 1-fight winning streak. Beat Kung Ho Kang in his last outing. Nakamura, he's looked good since he's been in the UFC. 9-fight winning streak. Beat Carlos Vera. Beat Fernie Garcia. I'm going to side with Nakamura here to keep his winning ways. Beneil Dariush against Moicano. Dariush is talking about how he's going to retire. I don't even think he fought in 2024. And he didn't. He took the whole year off. Arman Tsarukyan knocked him out early. Just not really high on Beneil Dariush. He's talking about retiring. Moicano, this guy's looked good, man. You can just tell Benoit Saint-Denis just did not look the same in that fight. Moicano came in there on a mission to win, and he did. And he did not let up on Benoit Saint-Denis at all. That event was in France. You know, I mean, that was an event for Benoit Saint-Denis to win. And Moicano came in there and completely up as a big underdog. Got the upset win, and now he's on a 4-fight winning streak, man. You got to take this guy seriously. Look at who he's beat: Benoit Saint-Denis, Jalen Turner, Drew Dober, Brad Riddell. All good wins, man. Very good wins, and I think he's going to get by Beneil Dariush here, and I could see him getting an early finish. My pick will be Moicano. Kevin Holland against Rainer de Ridder. I do not understand how Rainer de Ridder is the underdog. And I see that action is coming in on him now, and I understand it because de Ridder's going to take Kevin Holland down. And Kevin Holland, I just think the guy's kind of a quitter now. You know, he's got a size advantage over a lot of these guys, and he just can't use it, man. Rosa Roman Delice, and Delice was just out-grappling a man, and you know, I thought if Holland could have kept it on the feet, he could have posed some problems to Delice, but Delice just seemed like he had such a strength and ground advantage over Kevin Holland, man, that, I mean, Kevin Holland wasn't going anywhere. So you look at a lot of his last fights, he's 1-3, and I think Mahal Olenjacek knocked him down if I remember. But still, you know, it's just not a lot of good wins, and you see the wins prior to that were at welterweight. So I think he should return to welterweight. Rainer de Ridder, I think that first round against, you know, the first and second round against Gerald Meerschaert looked sketchy, and I think he did win rounds 2 and 3. Obviously, he got the finish in the 3rd round. But I think Gerald kind of just gassed out, kind of just let up, man. Because Gerald had him hurt. I mean, Reiner de Ridder didn't really look good in that 1st round. But I think he's got his octagon jitters out of the way. And I see Reiner de Ridder just taking Colin down and controlling him. Probably getting a submission win over here. So my pick will be de Ridder. Yuri Prochazka against Jamal Hill. 2 guys that have both been knocked out by Pereira in their last fights against him. And I'm going to side with Yuri here. I mean, I think Yuri's probably absorbed the more damage in his career. He's been knocked out by Pereira twice. Again, he knocked out Rakic. But he took some damage in that fight too, man. So, again, this is a really good card. I'm going to side with Prochazka, but, man, maybe we see Jamal Hill come back, man. But something just doesn't seem right with Jamal. You know, he looked phenomenal. He looked phenomenal in his early UFC days, man, all the way up to winning the belt. And then I don't know what really happened here. He got injured. He got that Achilles injury. And I don't know, he's been talking a lot, and there's been a lot of drama going on. But, I mean, he's looked really impressive, man. Hopefully he can get back to his winning ways. But one of these guys has to lose, and I'm gonna pick Yuri to win this fight. Merab Dvalishvili against Umar. Merab's not getting any respect at the betting window. I just don't get it, man. This fight should be a whole lot closer. Umar, minus 310. Is that because of his last name? Yes, Umar did dominate Sandhagen, but that was no easy fight by any means. I mean, Umar fought a very smart fight, and he was just a tad better than Corey in just a few different ways. And, I mean, Umar fought very well. But Corey Sandhagen, you know, leading up to that fight, he talked about how much he trained his wrestling, man. And Umar was just a step ahead, man. Step better. So let's look at this guy's record. Beat Corey Sandhagen, beat Bizat Al-Makan, Ronnie Barcelos, Nate Maness. Again, I think Merab's fought the better competition here, man. Merab is coming off a huge win over Sean O'Malley. Absolutely dominated the guy. 11-fight win streak. He's not getting any respect at the betting window here. Beat Sean O'Malley, Henry Cejudo, Peter Yan, Jose Aldo, who is no easy fight for anybody. Marlon Moraes, Cody... I mean, this guy's fought everybody, man. You know. And let's look at the size of these guys. The breakdown. So Merab's 5 years older. Umar's 2 inches taller. Umar's got a 1-inch reach advantage. But this is the championship fight, man. Merab just fought 5 rounds against the best bantamweight in the world and beat him. Umar, yeah, he beat Sandhagen, but there's a little more pressure here. He's fighting for the belt now. The current odds, I have to favor Merab. I mean, I think it's Merab or pass at the betting window. You're getting plus 260 on Merab. You're never going to see those type of odds on Merab again in any fight. I'm going to side with Merab here. I can see this being a very close fight, but I just think at the betting window, you have to lean towards the dog here, and that's Merab. Islam Makhachev against Arman Tsarukyan, main event. Their second fight. Islam beat Tsarukyan in Tsarukyan's debut in 2019, I believe. I just don't see Tsarukyan beating Islam here. Islam's a minus 405. I guess odds-wise, if you're going to place a bet, it would have to be on the dog here. This guy's on a 14-fight win streak. Again, his only hiccup was back in 2015 to Adriano Martins. But, man, this guy has beat everybody. This guy's looked phenomenal, man. Dominant. Tsarukyan, thought he was very fortunate to get past Charles Oliveira, man. Charles had him in trouble. I thought the fight potentially could have went to Charles. It didn't. He gets a split decision win over Charles Oliveira, who is no slouch. No easy fight for anybody. And, credit, Arman deserves his title shot. But I just think Islam's just too good. So my pick will be Makhachev here. Again, guys, let's go through my picks. Makhachev, Dvalishvili, Prochazka, de Ridder, Moicano, Nakamura, Almeida, Guskov, Rosa, Reese, Talbott. I'm not picking Tertios. I'm picking Sopaj, Dawson, and Carpenter.